Hi there, my name is Jamie Divine. Welcome to I Am Divinity.
Here at I Am Divinity, what we do is we help you unlock your inner power.
So that's what we're doing.
When I come here to the call, you have you wake up and remember you from my childhood.
That's the power. Imagine how healthy our community will be. Like they're so pure and so powerful.
Whispers of the morning stars, love expanded, infinite, come to earth, a hero's journey, finding what has always been, finding what has always been. Finding what has
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Don Smith. That's Don with 2 N's. And I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call I Am Divinity. I say that I Am Divinity because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold. And did you ever question yourself? Instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that. A very big reason is because you're working at a belief level of who you think you are. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people have this for years and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now, what I did was, I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, and most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you've had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, your divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes, 3 times a day to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, yeah, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you'd think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. This same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called I Am Divinity. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are and it will override and supersede who you think you are? Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died, and he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart for the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. All the symptoms were all gone. That's how easy it is, and that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free, free to be you, free to be who you truly are. And those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700. So it's an awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey.
Well, there we have it.
We on, bud?
We're on.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Good to have you on the call. Lots going on at this end. I'm not sure about yours. But, so one of the things is decided to the topic today, even though we'll be whatevers talking about this or that, but the four pillars to you getting the results in this program, and what they are and how it works. And any one of them are just ways that the ego has of tricking you, getting you out of your light. And so what they are is certainly courage, because you're fighting against the ego. And it's had all this power, all this time, And it is not happy. It is actually pissed off that you found out that it's there, and that how it's been working away at destroying you, actually, and creating eventually a death of some sort. So that's the ego is all about death and dying. And yeah, so that's the one, is the courage. Another one is the willingness. Now, there is no way, like anybody that's having difficulty, it's their willingness or lack of willingness. And the stronger that is, the harder it is for the ego to play on you. So willing, open-minded. Like 80% of what we've been talking about is from, well, how is that possible? You know, what are you talking about? That kind of thing. Well, we're closed-minded, not open-minded. And so the open-minded is, you know, whether it's what Jamie and I are doing now with the breatharian and the liquidarian, if that's the proper words. But there was no resistance on my part. I was just trying to put all the pieces together, what Jamie said. So it wasn't, it's a bunch of bullshit. What are you doing? Like, serious. So it's that same thing, something new, something, wow, I never heard about that before. Never crossed my mind. Like, how does that work? That's up. Don't be giving me that. Like, so it's that. And then the honesty. You know, and the honesty comes in when here's your light, and then here's the ego. We're trying to separate them out so you can see, so you can make a decision which one you're going to take. And there's that honesty. And lots of times, especially in the earlier, when Jamie and I were working together, he had so many business guys, entrepreneurs, and trying to get them to give me the information, and they were doing everything they could to keep it, you know. And so it's that honesty that's needed, the courage that's needed, the open-mindedness, the willingness, all of that. That's all needed at your end, not at mine, at yours, for this to work. Okay, like I've seen so many times people have an amazing, absolutely amazing transformation, and one little nudge by the ego, and they give it up. Yeah, like no resistance to the ego at all, and then they're gone. So it's like, you know, figuring out the puzzles, the difference between the ego and the divinity. And those four words, you know, the courageous, honest, willing, open-minded. And you have to have the open-minded, because how in alignment is this to anything you've ever heard of? It's not. It's not. Like, how many of you have been in personal development for years? Like years. I was talking to a lady today, she's probably 30 years or 40 years in personal development. Okay, well, when you think about, you know, the transformation is under 2 hours. And I've done it a lot quicker than under 2 hours. You know, like Al Valjanic, 15 minutes with prostate cancer. You know, the little kid that had Rubinstein-Tabby syndrome. Probably 20 minutes. Who's going to believe that? Like, in the traditional sense, who's going to believe that? You know, the lady, the Janessa, you know, the big bulge on the side of her stomach, they didn't even know it was there. 2 hours and 20 minutes later, it was gone. It was the size of her fist. Like, and that was the biggest thing when I work with athletes. You know, Dougie Waite with the Edmonton Oilers, and Glenn Sather, the GM, were on the call, and and Dougie had been off for 3 months, and had been back for, I think he was 2 weeks or something, and hadn't had a good game. And Glenn Sather said, "So long, Don, do you think it's going to take for you to get Dougie back on track?" I said, "Oh, maybe 3 hours." "Ah, what do you mean, 3 hours?" I said, "Yeah, 3 hours." "Okay, it's got a game at 7 tonight. Can you be here in Edmonton 3 today?" "I'll be in Edmonton 3 today, Ed." And in little less than 2 hours, Dougie played the best game in the season. So like, because you don't have that experience of these things, to have your belief system believe it. But some of you have this knowing, like you have this knowing, like you see the energy or listen to our words and the truth that's coming through to you. And it's like listening to that intuitive knowing that this is truth. And then the next thing that comes up is the ego of, okay, if that's truth, it's like, then it tries to trick you off, well, it's not going to last, it's not going to, all of those kind of things. So it never stops. And the whole piece about this is recognizing it and don't give in to that ego energy, that naysaying, negative, whatever. And the people that come in with that, there is a staggering difference between those that come in with doubt and second guessing and I'm not sure and kind of, well, I'll try it and I'll experiment with it, but I doubt if it'll work for me and all of that. Big difference. That's for sure. So it really is stepping into those 4 things that everybody has access to. Everybody they have access to that. And whether they use it, whether they do it, whether that courage to step in, say, I'm doing this, there's nobody or nothing going to stop. That's different than, oh, I'll check it out. I'll see what it looks like. I'll test it and see. I'll go and see what the guy's talking about. So those are different. And the difference is the ego knows the difference and it will play on that. It will play on your weakness. And the only weakness you have is the weakness that you created and you can uncreate it. So, and Jamie, you've been around me long enough to see those 4 played out in one way or another with different people. Would I be accurate in saying that?
Yep. 99% of people don't have the goods.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, it's not like lukewarm. You can't be lukewarm. You can't be lukewarm on your decision. If you're lukewarm, you've already lost. Now, I will say you can start and things happen because you hear something, kind of like Paul and Donna saying something, and Will and Chesser heard it, and they shifted, just like that. Okay, so those things happen. And so you don't have to have all of the goods 100% to start the process. But the more you have and the stronger they are, the better it is. But you'll need them before the end of, you know, the transformation. If you walk into the transformation on day 1 and are still Doesn't make any sense to me. You know, doesn't, you know, maybe I can talk to some people that have taken it. Yeah, no. Weak sauce. Weak sauce. So, those are the four. And, you know, what's interesting to me, oh, is that right, Joanne? We were talking about courage today. Yeah. By the way, that extraterrestrial thing, I spent a week with Dr. Greer. Quite an experience, to say the least. Yeah. And so coming back to what we need for here, what we need. So if somebody's saying, you know what, have you got something you could read? You know, is there any books on this?
I got something you can read. It's called School for Gods. Will, you want to pull up the death excerpt? I just found out we're immortal and that all death is a suicide. Here we are. Can you move the chat so I can read it? All right, let's read this one.
You go.
Death is immoral, he announced in a firm voice, and unnatural. Physical death is only the materialization of millions of deaths which take place inside us every day. It is the crystallization of a faith borrowed from a humanity which indulges in pain and loves suffering.
How is that? How is that for a statement?
Men have made death into their escape route, and women. He continued relentlessly, taking no notice of my discomfort. They know exactly what they have to do to kill themselves. They know all the tricks. The body is indestructible. And yet they have managed to turn the impossible into the inevitable. A man cannot die, he can only kill himself. To succeed in this, a man has to give his all and make full-time occupation of self-pity and self-destruction. Sounds like the ego to me.
Yeah.
At
Hold
this
on.
point, he stopped, searching for the right words to overcome my resistance. The rudimentary level of my perception and the psychic wall I had raised up against the mysterious powers of these revolutionary ideas. There's more. But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
The second page.
Yo, Jamie, you know how I figured out we were immortal too?
Please share.
If you just Google how long an atom lives for, it'll say 10 to the 25th power. And we're made out of how many atoms?
Oh. Trillions.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Very
Yeah,
true.
yeah. We're supposed to live for a really long time, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, there's another person.
Two.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Hey, Will, can you put that in the chat? The book title? What was that called again? I'm sorry.
School for Gods.
Wool for Gods.
School
For God. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. We can share the PDF in the community group. Okay. Can't read it yet.
Boom, boom, boom.
There we are. Okay, let's go to Okay, well, the dreamer was attacking age-old beliefs, the unshakable faith shared by all mankind, held together in brotherhood by the shared condition of mortality, by the universal belief that death is inevitable. These words made me violent, absolutely vicious, as if someone was suddenly robbing me of everything that was most precious to me, as if something was tearing into my very flesh. An uncontrollable, silent scream arose within and echoed from the depths of my being. Definitely sounds like the ego.
Yep.
In this very moment, billions of human beings are thinking and feeling negatively, trapped as you are in their own resentment, he said. I felt him seeping into the most secret and inaccessible recesses of my being, and I was deeply ashamed, as if I had been caught in the act of stealing. It is this state of being that denies humanity any hope of escape from the most painful circles of existence, he declared with a trace of bitterness. Then, in a tone of finality, gathering the threads of that most memorable lesson, he said, men worship death and would never give it up, even if they could, because they consider it to be the answer to all their problems, the end of their suffering, and of the 1,000 psychological deaths they inflict upon themselves. But death is no solution. But it is a choice.
Yep.
So I sent you that Bible reference too. There was over, what was it, 10?
Six.
Seven.
No,
people.
7. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 people referenced in the Bible that lived over 900
Years.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you think about, the system that you're aware of and familiar with, that's based on beliefs. You're believing that about something. Well, there's a difference between a belief and a knowing. Big difference, a really big difference. And so some of you already have had experience of the knowing of the power of this. Like Paul and Donna. And like the yesterday with the plant. Who was it that was with the plant?
Yeah, Donna.
Donna, yeah. And how dramatically different that was to when we started, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks ago, when you, Paul, took the courage to share how you were harming your wife, or whatever way it went. I don't, remember exact details, but and then you jumping in and shifting everything, and then Donna doing the same.
Donna speaking to the plant, sharing love with the plant that was wilted, and it immediately came back to life.
Yeah, like go out on the street and say that to somebody. They're not there. That's their belief systems of the death and dying industry. The death and dying industry.
Yes, the escape route from all the pain.
Yeah, that they're creating.
Yes.
That they're creating and can uncreate. And can uncreate.
Okay, we'll put the School for God's PDF in the chat there.
Yeah. It's quite the read.
Yes.
Not that we're finished, but
No, that was chapter 1. That was just chapter 1. That was the introduction.
yeah. So, and the reason we're doing it is like, okay, am I going to let my existing beliefs that I have about life, death, dying, whatever it is, am I going to let that present belief I have stop me from exploring this being real or not?
Well, it's not far off from, I'm on day 8 of only liquids, coconut water and green juice. It's like, talk about coming up against a belief system. We were in the gym yesterday and I was telling Don, I'm like, I'm 50% stronger. Like, I went 50% longer, did 50% more repetitions on the weights. It's like, I even increased the weight. We're talking 8 days without any food. I mean, if you had any beliefs about food giving you energy, gosh, that went away for me.
I'm not far behind. 4 days, and I haven't had a twinge of, oh, I'd like to have one of my favorite vegan wraps or, whatever. Because I ate pretty healthy. Like people were always commenting on how healthy I ate comparatively. But now it's like, okay, there's the next level. And
I mean, I've been vegan for 15 years mostly, and I've dropped 20 pounds in the last 8 days just doing this. Like just how much toxic weight was actually there, even though I was healthy.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, like we would be extremely healthy to the normal.
Of course, yeah.
Like
Just the fact that we refuse meat and dairy is like, what? Those are the two main food categories. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what keeps all the farmers going.
It's the bottom of the food pyramid. You're gonna die without that.
Yeah.
You're wilt away.
Yeah. Not to mention the pharmaceutical and the drugs that are used to help you deal with whatever it is you're creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Non-stop poison. Not to mention the poisonness of the negative thinking that you were just talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before the stream. You wanted to share that?
Okay, I was thinking about something.
The pattern that you said that you.
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I had multiple addictions, rage being one, alcohol, drugs, and religion. Like I shared this different times. I went to mass every day for a year, went to communion every day for a year, and went to confession every week for a year. And it was quite cute. My older sister, Phyllis, I looked up to her. It was her that got me, her and her husband got me into AA before, because I was going to break into my neighbor's garage, get a shotgun, blow my head off. It's actually, that's how close I came, okay? And he was just across the street. And got into that. And, it was like all of these programs and patterns of the rage and the alcohol and the drugs. And before I quit drinking, 5 years before that, I was smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. 2 packs, large ones. And the cigarettes they had then are so much bigger than the ones they have now. So 2 packs a day. And yeah, so that's what I was doing. And I just cold turkey quit on New Year's Eve on December 31st, 1979 for the smoking, and 74 for the alcohol and drugs. And and it was like one at a time, and then the next thing it was the sugar, like the sweets and those kind of things. So it was just, and then the religion thing, that was an addiction. And just a myriad of, but the bigger one was the rage. I would go into a rage that I would destroy anything around me. But it's a testament to how powerful I was. It's just that it was because I had not dealt with so much stuff that it just kept building and building and building and building. And then, and that was
using your power against yourself.
I'm sorry?
Using your power against yourself.
And I used to have these chronic back pains where I would be I'd be driven. Like I did, everything I did was max, like a Mach speed. And that's why, wherever I was in construction or addictions or whatever, working, that everybody wanted to keep me because of how forceful I was and how making things happen. And you know, it was like this drivenness for that self-esteem, building that self-esteem, all of those things that were external, giving you or giving me my identity. And just like the 3 that I did last week, my wife and her brother and her sister-in-law, and all of their 6 pages, were all tied into external reference by somebody. You know, there was this external thing going on, which was them seeing their identity from that message that they got from an external person or whatever. And it just went on, and that's what all the phobias were about. That's what all the phobias are about, especially with my wife. And she had all this suicidal stuff going on because there's no way out, no way out, no way out. And even with that, it took her 3 weeks of kicking and screaming and throwing silent temper tantrums to take the process. And yet, less than 2 hours later, all 3 of them, when I got them to look at their questionnaire that they filled out, it was like literally nothing. In my wife's case, Ratma said, absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And she just filled it out an hour and a half before. So, like, you know.
And then coming back to the new addiction that you found.
Oh, yes. So the new addiction. So, see, I've been taking piece by piece as they come up because I had the skills and the tools to do that. I would take something, and then it was like, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, because you told me you figured it out yesterday. I tried to make you tell me, but you wouldn't.
I'd like to, you know, I just want to, okay, see, that does it fit, you know, that kind of thing. Of course, Jamie is like, come on, I think he asked me about 5 times. Are you going to tell me or not?
And then you said you need 24 hours.
Yeah.
I gave you 12.
And so, because I took each one of them, I didn't have a me to see the whole piece and what I needed to let go of, whether that's the religion or the rage or the alcohol or the drugs or the steak or the, you know, the sweets or whatever.
Abuse.
And the abuse of me.
Drama and chaos.
All that drama and chaos like that, just like horrendous. Like, just to give you an idea of my rage, I had a 74 Challenger. And it was new. And what had happened, there was something happened about the door of the Challenger. And my neighbor across the street was a body guy. And so he fixed the door and painted it. And so when I went to look at it, then I opened the door, see how it worked. And it took just a thin line, like the line of a cord, of paint off the door. Well, I grabbed that door like this, and I went like this, and went like this, and when I was done, the door was down here rather than here. That's how much rage I had. Now, I'm not talking about just...
So you're trying to fix the door, but you didn't fix the door. You made it worse?
No, I wasn't trying to fix the door. I was pissed off that it just got, it was back.
Well, it needed to be fixed.
Yeah, again.
The reason you were pissed off is because it needed to be fixed, and then you made it worse.
Yeah. Big time.
That sounds like the ego. For sure.
Yeah. And so all of those addictions, being rage or sweets or church or whatever, alcohol, drugs.
And the new one.
And the one, which was the one underneath them all. So I did them like this. I did them like this because I was still searching, figuring out how come this is still here. And the last one was yesterday. And I figured it out. It was the addiction to negativity. Addiction to negative. That addiction to negative. And looking for the negative and noticing what's wrong and thinking the worst and all of that. That's what it was. And then as soon as I figured it out, it was like, oh, yeah, of course. It's everywhere. Like it's everywhere. Because that's what I'm looking at. That's what I was looking at. That filter was there for everything. Everything. And so once I figured that out and went back and cleaned that up, it was like, wow. Wow. Now it's so much easier. I mean, it's only 12 hours, but I know my system, so I know how it works. And it's like, it was so much easier to, okay, yeah, here, this is it. And nothing has happened since. I recognize that. So anyway, happy for you having that.
That's a private message.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can share what was going on with me. The time we were at that island and we did the new process with the God energy.
Oh yeah.
So I noticed since then, I mean, it was going on before that, but I became aware of it since then. Let's put it that way. That I was, even though I was vegan and being healthy, going to the gym every day, I was eating the heavier foods, and instead of one plate, I was having two, and either way, I had, and I still do, like have a gut, right?
Yeah,
and
you do.
and I figured out what that was. It was because it's in my power center. It was me protecting myself from my own power. And so that's I mean, that's going away real quick. So I went out to get this coconut. It's maybe a 10-minute walk. And I got that at 9:30. It's like 11:45. Okay, it's like I still got half in here. I've been working on this thing for 2 hours. It's amazing how like the liquid is now feeling dense to my system.
Right.
It's compared to just, I know I don't need anything, so this is like a treat, and it's just like I can feel the heaviness of the liquid now, which is obviously a next level for me. But I was coming back and I was on the corner of the street here, and the message hit me like, do some sun gazing, get the light, you know, because even more than the air. So like the breath and the air would be dense compared to the light, the sunlight. So I'm sitting there on the corner and it's all cloudy out, and I didn't even have to move the clouds. I just had to find where the sun was in the clouds, and then it just started beaming through the clouds. You know, more than enough for me to sit there for 5 minutes and just stare at the sun, eating the sun, consuming this light. And as I'm doing this, there's a house on the right behind me on the corner of the street, and I start hearing this Filipino guy, must have been playing guitar, and he's singing this song, and I forget who sings it. I think it's Third Eye Blind, but it was this was the the lyric. He said, I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's made to be broken. I just want you to know who I am. And I'm like, come on, right?
Exactly.
And then he doesn't even go into the other lyrics. He just starts repeating that same, like he goes back and he's like singing the same lyric over and over as I was standing there eating the light.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So congratulations on all of you that are still here.
It's that the microphone just changed to the MacBook. You want to check that out?
Yeah, it's so lots going on for us, for sure.
I think our mics just died. Yeah, I guess the world wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd understand.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Are we back on? Okay.
okay. So being open and aware to explore the true knowing of who you truly are is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And we're really pleased that you're on this path with us as we are exploring new frontiers. And yeah.
Change back to the MacBook. Does that mean it's dead? Maybe that's a wrap for today.
Definitely a lot to digest.
That's never happened before.
No.
The microphone changing like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, we don't need to be doing 2 hours when there's all this, even one of these topics, you know.
Rick shared the. Yeah, keep switching in that.
Yeah.
Well, I better just stop these streams then, because I don't think they're.
Well, the thing is, most people aren't ready for this. It's so new. It's so off the beaten path. And whether you hear it now or later or whatever, it's just speeds up the process and challenges you. Say, okay, I still have this. You know, it took me. Mic is off.
Need to end this.
Huh?
I mean,
What's happening? Okay. Okay. So anyway, that's a whole lot to digest. A whole lot. And I was just
Or very
talking.
little, Mike. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and she lives in the States, and had mentioned that she had, you know, spotted breast cancer in the back. And we were chatting, and I said, so what's that about? Well, I said, well, you had did you have any children? Yeah, I had my daughter. Yeah. And when she was born, what did you do with her? I breastfed her. Oh, breastfed her. Interesting. And you've got breast cancer for the second time. And she said, yeah, it's like they missed something. I said, no, they didn't miss something. You missed something. You missed the meaning of what the meaning was for that breast cancer to come back or be recreated. And it has to do with that nurturing. So there's something around the nurturing that's not happening in the way that you would like. And this is a lady that has done centuries of personal development, centuries of personal development. And so, you know, it's like, I'm saying these things for us to be able to take back our power and do something about it. not leaving it in the hands of a priest or a doctor or a minister or whatever. It's like,
It's just my mic inside.
oh,
Both of them should be off.
Yeah, both of them were running the same.
okay. So you may not have heard all of the downloads that Jamie
No, it was good until then, but right as I finished,
had. So.
then it cut me off.
4 main addictions: salt, sweets. Sweets. Anyway.
So you take it from here.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a lot for you to digest. I'm going to leave you with that actually. And see where you go with it all. But remember, no matter what you've heard, the 4 things of being open-minded, willing, honest, and courageous.
Okay, but we'll split it proper.
So those are the things that you need to be able to digest this. So we'll leave you with that as Will takes us home here. You ready, bud? Tomorrow, same time, 11 p.m. Eastern. And we are trusting that this whole financial piece will be put in place where you can finally get people ready for March 22nd, so they can have a transformation. That's what the home stretch is about right now. Is for you to get, 10 or 12 of your close people on this program. So there you go. Have a magnificent day. What's left of our night.
Hi there, my name is Jamie Devine. Welcome to I Am Divinity. I'm super excited for you to embark on this journey. Just congratulations for even finding I Am Divinity. My journey has been over 16 years of personal development, spiritual programs, multiple religions. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I never had a regular job. And so going through all of that, showing up to Don Smith 4 years ago to take his instant and permanent transformation, first of all, sounded a little hard to believe because I had done so much work and I still had all my shit. I was still an alcoholic, a weed addict, a narcissist. My financial gains in business and investing would shoot up and then cut right down and start over, shoot up, cut right down, and I could never hold my success. Going through his program, it was about 2 hours. All of my toxic patterns and programs were completely gone. Literally just gone in a second. And I can't even describe how liberating that moment was for me. But right after that, I told Don, I said, I don't want to do any of the business that I'm currently doing. I woke up to my purpose for coming to the planet. When Don told me his vision of raising humanity's consciousness to the level of 700 on the scale, enlightenment, which was the cause of all causes. The level of consciousness is the cause of all of our individual and collective problems on the planet. And so to finally have that solution, experiencing that solution for myself, I just wanted to tell everyone and anyone that would listen. And of course, with all my entrepreneur background and my skills in marketing, I made an agreement with Don so that I could just, literally my job would be to hold my light and share my light with others and bring them to the process and actually get compensated for it. And so I'm super excited to announce that we've now created this entire system for you too. Now imagine that, being able to go through this instant and permanent transformation for yourself, be liberated of all your toxic patterns and programs, literally within a couple hours. And then on top of that, being able to have all your financial fuel and energy and livelihood come from this divine system. And so there's a few pieces to it. Number one, we have an affiliate partnership program. So you're a partner. Your job is to hold your light, share your light, and anyone that's attracted to it, bring them to the program, and we pay out 30% of all the financial part of the system to you. That's the first part. The second part is my experience in the financial realm took me into Forex and crypto over the last 10 years. And I've been through all the roller coaster rides, all the ups and downs, all the scams and schemes. And we landed on just a couple people that were actually full of integrity, that have actually gone through the divinity process, and that are like nothing else. So our Forex fund is ran by an institutional trader. And if you've ever done anything in the financial realm in Forex, 99% of the retail space, the average everyday person, it's a scam. It's a scheme. You're going to lose your money. Maybe you're one of the few that got in early and took the money from the others, but eventually it collapses. I've seen them come and go over the years. But this institutional trader, he has 7 years of experience, and we have his entire track record of his strategy. He has an algorithm. He spent over $20 million in development up to this point. And so even with all that being said, there's still no guarantees. Of course, when it comes to investing, please only risk what you can afford. But we found something that's more solid than I've ever experienced, and it's where our personal funds are. And so you'll have access to that as well. His team has produced over the last 7 years on average 50 to 60% per year on the funds. And you don't have to do anything. You open up the brokerage account, our team will help you do that, and you park your funds there like you would a bank account, and his algorithm trades on all of the accounts. And so we can expect a 50 to 60% if it's anything like the previous average. But again, all the past performance never guarantees anything in the future. Just please be mindful of that. And then the last piece is our crypto fund. Now the crypto fund is very time sensitive. So a good friend of mine, Josh, who's handling the crypto fund, he's become an expert at this stuff. That's all he does every day. He goes and researches the top legitimate projects in crypto. To give you an example, in 2021, which was the last crypto bull run, Josh on his personal portfolio did over 8,000% that year. 8,600 to be exact. And so this was a kid that was 21 at the time and had his life savings in crypto and became a millionaire over that year of investing. And so just this last year, Josh told me, hey, I'm going to do what I did last bull run, but I'm going to open it to a few friends and family. I said, Josh, no problem. I trust you. I sent him the funds for myself, and then I said, Josh, I want to open this up to our entire community. He said, well, I don't know if legally that's a little tough. I said, don't worry, I'll work on that. And we created Divine Markets, which is a legal entity to be able to facilitate this, both the Forex fund and the crypto fund. And so we overcame that, and Josh is exclusively handling all the crypto for our community. And his target for the next year is 1,000%, about a 10x on the funds. And again, there's absolutely no guarantees. Please only risk what you can afford to risk. And so that's it. That's the overview. It's pretty simple. You got the affiliate partnership program, which again is just going to share the financial part with you so that you can actually create a network and an income for yourself while holding your light and sharing your light. Which, by the way, going through this process, we wouldn't be able to pay you to not tell people about it, because you're just going to be radiating and people are going to be attracted to you. And so we just wanted to create a system where we're all partners in this to reach that goal of 114 superheroes of light that are holding this and shifting humanity's consciousness. And so I welcome you to be a part of that vision and mission and part of our team. And I'm excited for you to go through your process. By the way, all of this financial part is only exclusively available to those of you that have gone through the process and committed to that. So it's not going to be available to anyone else. So what a bonus, what a reward for accessing your light and holding it, that you get access to an institutional trading fund that you wouldn't be able to get access to unless you had $250,000 and you accredited investor and all those things that the institutions look for. So we created a bridge for you on that. And the crypto fund, unless you know someone like Josh, and even if you did, it's not cheap or easy to get involved with those things. But we've made it easy for those of you that go through this process. It's a $500 minimum on the Forex fund, $500 minimum on the crypto fund. So that's it. I'm excited for you, and we'll see you on the other side.